Welcome back to Mr. Belle's Kitchen. Today I will be cooking some sopas called Filipino soup. My ingredients today, I will be using some garlic powder, some black pepper, some chicken broth, regular salt. I'm going to saute the onions and the garlic. And I have the celery and the carrots and the chicken shredded up and the cabbage. And this is the broth from the chicken that I broiled. Today, I'm going to heat up the butter in the pot and I'm going to saute my onions in it and make everything just right. We're going to take a moment right now. Welcome back to Mr. Belle's Kitchen. Today, as I told you, I'm making sopas, a Filipino soup. Now I'm melting my butter. It's getting nice and melted, and I'm going to put my onions and garlic in. I'm going to saute them till they turn nice and brown a little. Stir that up, let it turn till it gets sizzling a little bit. Okay, then I'm going to get my carrots and my celery, and I'm going to put it in with it. And I'm going to stir that up in. And I'm going to let it just brown up a little. Just saute it until they get a little soft. Welcome back to Mr. Belle's Kitchen. Now everything's sauteed and everything looking nice and good to where I want it. So now I'm going to pour in the broth and let it boil. I'm going to pour that in. And let that boil for a minute, about 5 minutes. Get it nice, good, and hot. And get it nice, good, and hot before I put my chicken and my noodles in it. And then I'll start putting my seasoning in it. And then I'll put the cabbage in. And I'll be back with you. Now I'm rinsing my noodles before I put them in the pot. Get them nice and rinsed off. With a little nice water. Rinse them off. I can rinse off almost all my food. And I'm going to put them back in the cup after I rinse them off. Put them in here. Everything had to be nice and rinsed off. Okay, so now, as you can see, my chicken, I'm going to put the chicken in my broth and everything. It's nice and boiling. Now I'm going to put the chicken in. Put the chicken in, let that sizzle. And I'm going to add just a little more water in it. I'm going to stir it. Let it sizzle up. Back to Mr. Belle's Kitchen. As you can see, the float of the chicken is floating. The carrots, all my ingredients is in the pot, and you see how it's just floating up and spreading out. That means it has a good boil to it, and it looks so good in that pot. Now I'm going to add my noodles in it and put it in and let it boil for a minute. And I'm gonna add all my seasons in it. All my noodles is in. I'm gonna stir it up. I'm gonna let them boil. Oh yeah. You stir that up. And let that boil for a minute or two, and I'm gonna add my seasoning in. All the seasonings I have right here, I'm gonna add in. I'm going to use my chicken ball. A little salt, just a little. And I'm going to add my black pepper in. Add a little garlic powder. And I'm going to let that cook for about 10 minutes before I add my cabbage. I wash my cabbage off. I'm going to wash it off. The cabbage. I'm going to wash this off while it cooks for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to pour it in there. As you can see, the noodles I like using the big noodles and everything because they give more taste. But you can use any kind of noodles you want. I prefer the big ones because I want to taste everything. And now I'm going to pour in the can of my carnation milk. I'm going to pour it in there. Give it that good color and everything. And I'm going to stir it up just a little. And this is right here. This is what you call the Filipino Sopas. And I'm going to let it boil for about 3 minutes or so before I put my cabbage in there. And it's going to be ready to serve in a couple minutes. Let that boil nice and good and give it the color. And I'm going to put my cabbage in there. And let it cook. And put my cabbage in there. And I'm going to stir that up for a minute and let it sit. And that looks so delicious. So we're going to have this for breakfast. Usually when it's cold or something like that, we have nice sopas. Nice and warm. And this is the Filipino dish. Okay, we finished cooking the sopas. It's ready to eat, and this is how it looks when you get done with it. And they are delicious, ready to go. It's ready. Oh. And that's Cooking with the Bells. We did it again.